What have we got here? Let's see. Welcome to First Pitch Live.
What is up, college baseball First Pitch Live Sunday edition? I was at work. Smitty had some stuff going on yesterday, but we were dead set on getting it done this weekend. Listen, I kind of like this Sunday show. We talked about it backstage before. Like, do we do a Saturday and a Sunday because nobody's on there? Well, guess what? Today's a trial run. Let's go.
Get those numbers. Smitty? Let's go. Hey, listen, you got up right now. You got the Golden Girls on, or you have us. One of the two. So watch us right now and then go back. Blanche and those crazy girls, they'll be doing something here in a couple minutes. So don't worry. Stay with us. Wild weekend again. That's what it's been most of the season. So we'll dive into some recap yesterday. Let's try to get some winners. Let's find some winners on this beautiful Sunday. Masters today too. So it's just a sports day. We love it. Let's cash some Sunday tickets. Yes, let's go.
All right. Now we've got a lot to cover today, right? Because normally we do a Saturday show. We're only looking at the Friday headlines. Why don't we kind of condense this a little bit and just say, what have you thought through the first two games and maybe even the series that ended yesterday? Give me your thoughts on those.
Okay, I got a couple here really quick. Georgia Tech, just Thursday night was it was a fantastic game. The guy, I don't know why.
A weird game.
Yeah, why that guy broke that late trying to score was really bad. But yesterday, I mean, it was 4-3 Thursday, 8-3, and then yesterday 17-3. I mean, this team is just mashing the baseball. This team is very good. With Texas's issues this weekend, you'll see them jump up to number 2, I would say, tomorrow and everything. And we'll see we'll see what Texas does today. But Georgia Tech, very impressed, 21-2 at home. Kansas, very impressed with Kansas.
They're getting hot.
Yeah.
Very hot.
They're doing, that was a sweep, 4-3, 6-3, 3-1. Played a doubleheader yesterday. 10-0. They're 10-0. Win streak, 10 in a row. So like you said, they're on fire right now, Kansas. So those are 2 Q. I'll let you go. There's a couple more. I mean, I can chime back in, but Kansas and what Georgia Tech's doing is fantastic. What's up, Nick? Happy Sunday to you, buddy.
We need to get Matt to build a third thing. So if Nick's going to be awake, he could just jump on with us. All right. We got to talk to Chris about that. He's the producer, the CEO, you name it. He does it. All right. I would say my thoughts. So Oregon State continues to dominate. Obviously, they're playing Cal Poly. Cal Poly is one of the better mid-majors in the West this year. The one I'm surprised about would be Texas. I knew they swept last year, and they were very close, but they just looked outmatched in every facet right now. And maybe this is just that down weekend. Again, you're not going to win every single game. You're not going to win every single series. It's impossible in college baseball these days, especially in the SEC where it's just a gauntlet of a schedule. So, maybe chalk this off like, okay, they lost a series. Hopefully you don't get swept today, but let's kind of see how they move forward next weekend back in SEC play. And then that'll kind of tell you like, hey, it's just kind of an anomaly. I would say the Florida Friday night victory was a little surprising. Now, I know Aiden King was going, and he threw as expected, All-American, on a Friday. And I was actually very surprised yesterday at how well Liam threw. 7 strong innings. He did give up some hits. I think he left with 8 hits. But again, you're not trying to no-hit Georgia. You're trying to contain Georgia. They just hit the ball, and he did that very well. Now Florida didn't, and they lost. But I will say I was very surprised pleasantly at his performance. And then I'll leave away from them. Kentucky. I don't know how to feel about them. They can look so good at times, and then you're like, other times, what is this Wildcat team doing? And I just can't get a feel, and I don't know if they can either. It just seems like they'll get a win and give it right back. They can't find any momentum this year, and they're a dangerous team. But again, it's like what Wildcat team is going to show up, and so that was just a little surprising that it continued. I thought they had a good shot to make a statement against Auburn, who outside of pitching hasn't hit the ball extremely well this year. And again, Kentucky just had what I thought would be, a series win is not looking out to be that way. So very surprised just maybe as a whole season by the Batcat Nation there.
Yeah,
So,
pitching's been a little leaky for them. Defense has been a little, and usually that you don't see that with that Kentucky program.
you very disciplined, very fundamentally sound baseball team, and listen, they got a couple injuries. I get it. Every team does, but just very uncharacteristic baseball. Now, again, we're at the halfway point. There's plenty of time for them to catch fire, and in 3 weeks, we're like, Jesus, they're like a top 15 team. So I'm not overly concerned. But yeah, it's just something I've kind of noticed. Anything else, good or bad, from the weekend?
Well, we gotta talk about UCLA again. They've won 26 in a row.
Dominant.
17-0 in the Big Ten. I think, what are they, like 8 games away is setting the record. So, and again, listen, they're playing Rutgers. The Big Ten's the Big Ten. There's some good teams. Rutgers up there a little bit. Up and beautiful. I like what did Nick say Friday night? I said, what's going on? That game was like 1-1. And he's like, well, long flight. I said, they probably looked out the plane. Oh, beautiful New Jersey. Look at this.
Piscataway, New Jersey at that.
Goodness. This is breathtaking in New Jersey. So, but you got to give them, fantastic what they're doing. And, I'm going to go back to that Florida, Georgia. I had Georgia yesterday, but that game was 1-1 in the 8th. They broke that open, bottom of the 8th. So, again, very low scoring in that. You brought up
that was the Friday as well, the 7th. It was 2-0 going in the 7th. A very tight ball game. Yeah.
So, Texas, we already said this. Texas A&M's taking care of business. I think Texas bounces back today. But
Mississippi State. How did we forget about that one? The Pros are being swept at home back-to-back series. That's insane. And I know Caesar said his Vols aren't back. This is an anomaly. But, man, what's that tell you about Mississippi State? Back-to-back weekends, you might be swept at home.
Yeah, I think a great game. Nebraska-Oregon's been one I've been keeping an eye on. Just saying, because, again, Oregon's that – kind of look at the Big Ten. You kind of look at, after UCLA, you got USC, you got Oregon, Nebraska, is really coming up. They're especially really tough at home. I think where they've only lost like 1 game this year. So
yeah,
I that's one I'm keeping an eye on. I think that's split right now. I'll give you the
line, right? Yeah, and we can preview that one in a little bit. But that line is -150, and that's one of the ones that I was going to talk to you about when we start talking about today's slate. That was an interesting series. I think both teams need that series, and it's good. I joke when I call it the Pac-3, and then the Big Ten, and obviously Nebraska is the best Big Ten or true Big Ten team. But it's been really good to see that. I think it would have been bad had Oregon just murdered them, off the breaks this weekend. It was really good for the conference to have Nebraska kind of punch back and hit Oregon in the mouth a couple of times, especially on the road. To be like, hey, listen, it's not just the Pac-3. This might be the Pac-3 +1. And so that was a good stance. Give me, and this is a pure – what's your thoughts on North Carolina Clemson? Like that, to me, I thought North Carolina was going to roll, and they haven't. They've kind of struggled. They won in 14, and we could talk about them Sunday as well. But I thought that was going to be we're going to clinch in 2 games. Versus the Clemson team we've seen the last 5-6 weeks, but it's been not the case.
Yeah, this is one today. I want to keep an eye on the total, just because they went 14 innings yesterday. If you look, Clemson, I think threw 6 pitchers. A couple guys only went like 2/3. 3 guys, I think, went multiple innings. UNC, if you really break down the pitching, Lynch went, I think, 5. I think it's Glover, the freshman, went 6, and then I think it was McDuffie that went 3. So they only went 3 guys, and they went a lot longer in this. But like you said too, I know Ken DM'd me the other. I think it was Friday night. He's like, "Man, this UNC team, it's just one of those. You can't really get a read on this team." I'm very high on this team. Friday night was surprising when it was 9-5. So, and then yesterday it was just. There was situations that teams had an easy chance to end that game a lot earlier, and they just could not get the big hit. So
if I'm not mistaken, they had to come back to win that game, correct?
I think it was kind of back and forth yesterday off the top of my head. So, but I know there was a couple situations like teams had bases loaded in the extra innings, and I'm like, wow, this one's over. And then I look back like 2 minutes later, and they're in the next inning, and it's like, wow, no big hit here. So, I would have. There's a couple totals today. On DraftKings, the only one right now that's showing up is they have 14 for the Florida Georgia game.
Sandifer, it was TBA for Georgia, so I don't know who's pitching now. Sandifer has looked pretty good. He's done 2 weekend starts, and I've been quite impressed. It's been a super low series.
10 and 6.
I don't expect Florida to light it up today and feed the trees, but at some point, Georgia's going to start scraping some long ball runs because Florida's really kept them in check. I don't think they've hit a home run at all this series that I can remember, and that's just not Georgia Bulldog, offense. So I would expect, man, that's a tough one.
Minus 115 either way. So right now,
I kind of lean the over there, but I'll wrap this up for my weekend thoughts, and then we can go to a commercial break after your final if you have anything else. But very impressed with Coastal. All right, Coastal had to go on the road to Arkansas State. Our guy Matt Grissom was there covering it from the great state of Arkansas. Arkansas State's not a slouch, especially at home for Coastal, as injury battered as they are. They took a little bad news this week with Hayden Johnson being done for the year. Now they still have Cam Fluke to look forward to, but now you've lost your closer Carbone and your Saturday guy for the year. Like, they just keep taking hits to the chin, and they just keep battling back. Now it was a little close series, both games. I think they won by 2 or 3 runs Friday. They won 4-3 yesterday. Very impressed with Coastal that they can just keep the wheels churning, especially with everything that's considered going on for the season. So, man, they're a dangerous team and just very fun to watch. Anything else before we go to commercial?
Yeah, we can go commercial.
All right. Before we get into the Sunday slate, hear about the best college baseball brand in general, but we're a college baseball show. We rep the brand. We rep the sport. So Home Field Apparel has a commercial here for you guys. Check them out. Love to have you guys repping some Home Field Apparel.
Before we get back to the action, we've got to tell you about the best gear in college sports. The place to go is Home Field Apparel. Check out the Diamond Classics collection. High-quality throwback jerseys for your favorite team. From the Arkansas Razorbacks to the Vanderbilt Commodores, Home Field has you covered. Home Field's the only apparel partner of College Baseball Central. Gear up for game day by visiting homefieldapparel.com.
All right, there you have it. Home Field Apparel. Everything College Baseball Insiders is presented by them. They're the main sponsor this year. We love those guys. Shout out to our guy Josh from Home Field Apparel. Let them know we sent you. They might take care of you. Or they might just say, oh, those guys suck. Who knows? But no, we love them. They love us. We have a great relationship, great apparel, great product. Go check them out, homefieldapparel.com. Tell them First Pitch Live, Smitty and Q sent you. All right, let's get into this Sunday slate. Couple of series started Thursday, ended yesterday, so they're not on the docket today. But just looking, Coastal's minus 170. Can they go for the sweep? That Baylor-Cincinnati, if I remember, it's been runs. Baylor trounced them Friday night. Since he comes back, if I read the score correctly, pretty convincing fashion yesterday. They're since he's laying minus 170 at home. I don't have anything on Bet365 total-wise for the Florida-Georgia yet, but I'm seeing Florida plus 135, Georgia minus 170. Again, that pitching matchup is Russell Sandifer, and I have not seen a Georgia pitcher. It was TBA on the game notes. So if anybody has that updated information, that would be awesome. Any thoughts on the Florida? Is that something you're willing to play?
Well, no, not really. I wouldn't. I don't really have a side. I think the total, again, it's been below, but again, one of these days you would think in this series it'd break out a little bit. So right now, I want to see what goes on this morning with that, but that could be an underplay if it gets a little higher for me in that one. But right now, no. And the Baylor Cincy, no, it's a pass for me in that one. I would have to really get one of the guys or something to really sell me on that one. I love that. Went back to the well. Love it.
That's it.
Yeah, pick Cal. Yeah, that's a good. I mean, that's one I put down on my card maybe to keep an eye on that total. I went Pitt yesterday, moneyline parlay, which Pitt's bat's a little slow. Pitching hasn't been great. Cal's jumping out quick in both games. Blew them out Friday. Really took care of business again yesterday. I would think that would be high scoring. It's Pitt. It's usually high scoring games. So we'll see where that number is. But that is one down, I would say. Diamond App says Matt Scott for you.
All right. Yep. Matt Scott may be probable there. I don't know how accurate the Diamond App is. I know a bunch of users can put it in. I'm not saying it's not. It's something I'm not well versed in. So it could be Matt Scott. It makes sense if it is. He hasn't pitched this week, or this weekend. So they threw Caden Aoki yesterday after Dylan Vigu. So it probably checks out. I like that Cal Pitt, depending on where it's at. Man, I could see that being like a 16.5. But if you could get Cal's bats continuing through the weekend and then Pitt just to wake up, I could see that, hitting by the 6th inning if we're being quite honest.
Yeah, it's tough to look at Pitt at minus 230. Yeah. I mean, I don't trust Pitt.
You can't.
Yesterday I did. I won't today. It's all runs for that one if I'm on that one.
Here's an interesting one that I lean, and that perfect timing. Canes, we're talking about your boys. Literally unscripted. Walked right in at the right time. Wake Forest, Miami. AJ Siscar's on the mound for Miami. I did not see who Wake Forest is pitching. I'm sorry. But right now, Miami in a rubber match is laying 165. I don't see a total on Bet365. Do you have a DraftKings total?
No, the only total I see so far is the Florida one.
Wind was blowing dead in yesterday, keeping the ball in the park. 3-1 Friday in favor of the Hurricanes. 3-1 yesterday in favor of the Deacons.
Yep.
I gotta lean Miami. I know. Do I think they're minus 165 favorites? Probably not. But when I look at the pitching matchup, Lavonis is already gone. Dressler yesterday pitched really well. But AJ Siscar is a normal Friday guy, and he is now pitching on Sunday. I mean, that's got to be advantage to the Hurricanes. In my opinion, the Hurricanes really need to win this series, especially now at the halfway point down the stretch. I might consider laying the juice or finding, like a Miami, Oregon State just to try to get that down a little bit. I trust Oregon State today to finish the job on Cal Poly. Drop that, minimize your risk, maybe get closer to an even play. But I do think Miami can come out today and get the victory.
Yeah, I played first
8.5, 10.5.
Yeah, I gave it out as a free play last night on social media. I played the under 10.5 in that game last night.
Easy winner. Wasn't even sweating it.
Yeah, it was a good we like those. Those are good ones. We didn't, you never know, because I always say I have not gone on a bullpen rant yet this weekend. It's coming probably today. So
yeah.
But I would
say the bats went cold.
That one would be for me. I want to look at the total again in that one if I play. I don't have really a side, and I think that one could be a tight one. So maybe Wake at the run line plus 1.5 isn't horrible. Maybe take a chance with Wake in that one, but I don't know. I'd rather feel comfortable playing the runs in that one today.
Are you touching anything Arkansas, Alabama?
Well, what's that? Arkansas 2-0 in the series?
Mm-hmm.
The SEC's been so crazy.
It's hard, dude. It's hard.
I would lean Bama in that. I would lean Bama not to get swept.
That's fair. No, the pitching, the pitching has actually stood pretty tall this week. At times, their bullpen has been extremely shaky, but getting good front end pitching this weekend. The back end pitching has held. I mean, you give up 3 runs to a pretty good hitting Wake team. I can't complain about that. All right, here's another game I'm looking at a total. Kansas State, Oklahoma State. Kansas State's laying minus 170. I believe they hit 13 or 14 runs Friday night. Yesterday was pretty high scoring as well, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was 11-3 Friday, 13-9 yesterday.
I mean, Kansas State's been in some massive scoring run games there on the Sundays. I could see that trending the same way. First off, you're not stopping if you're Oklahoma State, you're not stopping the Wildcat offense. I mean, D. Kennedy, a couple of those guys are just absolutely murdering the ball right now. I think it was last weekend that guy hit about a 500-foot shot that maybe still hasn't landed. They had to wait to land after Artemis 2. So maybe it comes down to earth today. I'm not sure. But that Wildcat offense can swing the bat. They're at home. They've already clinched the series. They've won 2-0 so far. I could see them sweeping. Oklahoma State's not the greatest team this year. I think they were 20-12 heading into the series. Now they're, I think, 20-14. Again, offense. Oklahoma State, I think, can get a few, especially on Kansas State's Sunday guys. So I would look for that total, like another 16.5. And I think I would be okay laying that.
Yeah. I had that down as a total play.
That so just screams like an 11-6, 12-7 type game. And you're like, all right, that, wasn't that bad. I will give you a play that I am here. It's at 2:00. Tennessee, Mississippi State. This is a pure logic play. Okay, Mississippi State was swept at home by Georgia. They beat UAB in the midweek. Now they're on the verge of being swept at home by Tennessee, who is not the Tennessee. Well, we kind of predicted a little down year, but a lot of people thought, oh, they're going to be still good. But it's been a super up and down Volunteers team. On the principle that Brian O'Connor's your head coach, you have very good quality players. I expect to bounce back and you don't take your second sweep in consecutive weekends. I have parlayed them with Arizona State. I like Arizona State to get the job done. I think they get Willie Bloomquist back today after his ejection, which that was wild. I don't know if you saw the footage of that. Coulter, McAnally, and Briggs. I think Briggs is out. Obviously, McAnally's out, but they should get Bloomquist back today. That gets you, if you parlay those, gets you minus 136. So you're laying a little juice, but I'm okay with it. Again, if I lose because of Mississippi State, tip your cap to it. It just is what it is. It's back-to-back weekends, and then maybe we go to the drawing board. Any play on that one?
Yeah, I mean, we say same thing. You just can't. I would be shocked if he gets swept. I've played them, but listen, they've got me. Tennessee's got me. I played Mississippi State money line parlay Friday, loss. Yesterday, I had them with East Carolina. East Carolina took care of business. Mississippi State did not. 6-5, 6-2 series so far. I would put them in. What is it? Stone against
it should be Evan Blanco.
Blanco.
Remember, O'Connor coached him. That was his guy. That was this Friday night guy at UVA his first 2 years. So he knows what he's going to give you. He's got a great scouting report on that.
I just think they won't get swept. So I'm right with you. I have them down as a money line parlay piece with someone. All right,
Tennessee wins.
Probably.
You heard it here first. Dude, I can't get on the right side of them. I take them against Vanderbilt. They get swept on 3 walk-offs. I take them to lose against Mississippi State. They win. Oh,
you got to put them in that category. I'm done. It's like me and Santa Barbara again. This 2 straight years in a row, Santa Barbara has just butchered me.
I missed that. Stone started yesterday.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was at work, so I missed that. Sorry, guys.
So
I still like it.
I think you got to. I think you got to roll that. I mean, I just don't see them losing, getting swept. They're 19-5 at home. Like you said, most of their losses have been the last 2 series at home. So I think it's a bounce back spot today. What scares me? He's a good arm. So, but I would go with Mississippi State with somebody here today.
All right, are you touching the Texas A&M series?
Yeah, I think same logic here. I think it's a
Texas is
number.
minus 130.
I think it. I've said it before. I still think this is my team. I picked to win the national.
Volantis.
Yes, let's go. Let's get a win here, man, today. So really struggling. Man, A&M jumped out on them yesterday.
Yes, they did.
8 runs in the first.
Yeah, that really set the tone.
Yeah, I'm on Texas. I'm playing Texas today.
All right. Here's another team I am going to play. I like the pitching matchup. It's Texas Tech throwing Adam Hayes, Chance and Cole for the Mountaineers. I just think they're a better team. Our weather meteorologist, Ryan Hyatt, Texas Tech Raider, all sports coverage guy, says bad weather again today. Yesterday was weird. Both teams like to score. It was 4-1. I like West Virginia. I think the better pitchers on the mound. I think they're better suited offensively, especially in bad weather. I mean, listen, Morgantown's not the best place to play college baseball to start the year. I like them a lot. I didn't lay the juice at minus 160. I parlayed them with USC Southern Cal at plus 110. I like that. So give me the Mountaineers and the Trojans plus 110.
Yeah, I like that. I like that one. I think West Virginia bounces back. USC again, 21-1 at home. I'm just not high on Iowa. I like that play. I just wrote Hyatt again. He said yesterday it was swirling winds because I said 4-1 at Texas Tech. I wrote him and I said, what was there, like hurricane winds blowing in? What was the deal? And he said, cold swirling winds, some rain. He said, we finally got some rain. We haven't got rain for, he said, I think like November. So he sent me a picture, but I just wrote him again if I can get some info on the exact what he thinks today down there.
Ride Hyatt on the 8s.
Come on, let's go.
Back to our guy Ryan. Thanks.
Yep. We're gonna send him into like when there is a real hurricane. We'll have to get him on. There's his new job, meteorologist Ryan Hyatt. So
Jim Cantor.
Yeah, get out of here, Jim. We got Ryan Hyatt now covering for us. But no, I like that. I like that play. USC, I think, is a strong play at home. Match them up with West Virginia. You might have sold me on that one. I like it. And then I'll blame you if they lose.
Yeah, probably. That's how it goes. I was actually going to save this towards the end, but Tanik mentioned it here. I do like Virginia. So I live in Virginia. I had to have somebody else book it responsibly for me. You didn't actually hear that. That's off the record. But minus 130. I like Virginia to bounce back. Listen, Ray Dell pitched yesterday. They lose a game, and it wasn't even that crazy. It's not like they got blown out. But I think Virginia, coming off a series loss against Florida State last weekend, they had to go on the road. They played well Friday. I think they bounced back in a good spot for a series win today against Notre Dame. They have two freshmen going on the mound. I've got to trust, with two freshmen, whatever. To me, that's kind of a wash. I've got to trust offense at this point, and I think UVA's offense is a little more primed and better than Notre Dame's. So give me the Who's to win the series here at minus 130.
Yeah, I have my book. I can play that. I think I'm on that too. I think that's what I'm going to be on today also.
LSU Ole Miss, that's minus 115 either side. LSU trying to avoid the sweep, trying to keep their season alive. Here's a logic play. I'm not in the locker room. I haven't talked to anybody within the program, so this is a pure assumption. I've got to think LSU is dejected. I know Jay Johnson he did the Friday night post-game presser, and he just kind of seemed very frustrated, which I can, always be empathetic to that. But Ole Miss getting a big series win last week in Gainesville, a series they probably shouldn't have won outside of a ninth inning blow-up by Florida. Now you get to come back home against, a traditionally good LSU team who has some clout year in and year out. You beat them now, you win the series. Can you go for the series sweep and just kind of put the nail in the coffin for the LSU Tigers? I think the answer is yes. Last week, Ole Miss was very tame at the plate. Florida kind of shut them down. They got a little offense back this weekend. They got a little mojo. They're swinging the bats pretty good. I think that continues in today. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, it's just a team LSU that just cannot get it going. And I kind of agree with you. They got too fast. And if they lose this one, it's trouble. It's trouble. So right now it's a stay away from me. But yeah, this team, so many high hopes and they just are not putting it together. A lot of new guys came in, especially on the offensive side. They just haven't clicked.
LSU getting swept. They don't make the tournament, Canes. That's tough, right? We still have plenty of ball left in the SEC. I kind of see this as like that Florida team that was losing every midweek in 24, and they somehow made Omaha. The difference here, though, they were losing those games, but they were winning the ranked series in SEC, whereas LSU's losing midweeks and losing ranked weekends in the SEC. I'm not going to say midweeks don't matter, but if you're going to lose a game, it's got to be the midweeks. You've got to win the weekends. They're not doing either, and that's a problem. So, yes, I would trend that way, but there is enough time if LSU got hot, made a good run in the SEC tournament. I could see on the name alone, them getting the benefit of the doubt, but man, you get swept. That puts you in a really bad spot. You essentially have to play playoff baseball for the next 6 weeks, and that's tough. I don't have anything Kentucky Auburn. I talked about that earlier, and then we're kind of running out on time here. It's just I don't know which way to go on that, so it's a stay away. You touching that one or
no? I played it. I played Auburn. I went against my Kentucky team yesterday. I thought Auburn was going to get them yesterday too, and I'm just staying away from that one today.
Nebraska, Oregon.
I'll root for Kentucky.
Nebraska, Oregon, good series for the Big Ten. Nebraska's trying to win the series on the road in Eugene. Oregon's trying to make a statement saying they can beat Nebraska, a quality team who's been on a hell of a winning streak lately. I kind of like the Ducks here at home. I think they have a little better offense than Nebraska, especially on the road or at home. Give me the Ducks.
I would lean the Ducks too.
My gut. Like, I'm not either team's Sunday guy isn't like a stud pitcher, but I just think Oregon has a little more juice at home offensively to get it done in like a nasty 6-5, Midwest West Coast game.
Yeah, Nebraska's playing well, 8-2 last 10, but Oregon is very good at home. I think only 4 losses the entire year, with yesterday being 1. But I'm right with you here. I think the Ducks offense is a little better. I like the home field. I'd take a chance with the Ducks today.
Yeah, no ACC team would want to see them. That's for sure. They gave North Carolina a run for their money a couple years ago. Tommy White's last year. What was that, 24? Yeah, and that was tough. That was a good regional to watch in Chapel Hill. Yeah, I don't know if they go on a run. I kind of tend to say no, but again, it is LSU. Anything's possible for a program as good as them. They have the talent. It's not panning out. All right, let's keep it moving. I briefly touched on USC earlier in a parlay. I just think they're better, on the mound. I do think Iowa can hit a little bit, but they have no pitching. Well, the problem is USC's strength is pitching, so that's going to negate the Hawkeyes' offense. I think USC gets a sweep at home. Pretty clear cut there. And just as a refresher, I had them parlayed with West Virginia.
Yeah.
You touching that?
I like your West Virginia play. Like I said, USC is very good at home. 1 loss on the year. I like that West Virginia USC. I think you sold me on that. Like I said, if I lose, then I can just bitch at you and say you screwed me on that one. And I like that play. I think that's a good play.
All right, here's another one I touched on a little earlier. Out of principle, I have this team parlayed with that Mississippi State game we talked about. Arizona State, they get smoked Friday night against Colter McNally before he gets ejected. I think in the 5th, they were up like 8-1 by that point. Bloomquist gone, Briggs gone. A little Friday night pitchers calling the umpire a bitch. I mean, it was pretty electric off the start. Arizona then gets in a shootout yesterday, wins. I think it was like 14-13 or something crazy.
Yeah.
Again, I think the Bats are going to smoke Utah. I remember watching Utah on a Sunday. It was like 14-13 against Cincy. I kind of see the same, run production from Arizona State again today. The team can just hit the ball, man. But I think they have the better pitching matchup as well. Somebody check this. Is it Cole Klecker today?
Yes.
Okay. I like Klecker. I think he's had a good year. And give me the Sun Devils in that parlay with Mississippi State.
I like Arizona State too, but I want to look at the totals for this one because I wrote down the last 3 Sunday games Utah has played: 30 runs, 24 runs, 15 runs. Arizona
Landon
State,
Harris, Derek Williams.
Arizona State, 14 runs, 13 runs, 4 runs in their last 3 Sundays. I think this one, if you look at both guys that I think are going to go, I looked, ERAs are a little high. I think Arizona State wins the game, but I think this one could be a shootout too. I think this one has runs all over it.
All right, in the last game, unless you're going to touch the Hawaii, Oregon State, Cal Poly. Oregon State's laying minus 500. I want to see the run line on that. I think Eric Segura's pitching today.
Yeah.
I think Kleinschmidt went yesterday. I'm not going to sit there and act like I know who Cal Poly's going to throw. I know they can hit the ball, but I know nothing about their pitching, so I'm not even going to sit here and act like I do. There's no used car salesman on this side of the lot. But I just think Oregon State, man, they're doing everything right at home. Like, this is an easy win for me. It's just by how much, in my opinion. And I probably just jinxed it. They'll be sweating it and have to win in like the 9th. But if you're laying minus 500, you're probably going to get like a minus 2.5. I could see them covering that. A 3-run, 4-run win there. I could see that. So that might be a play I'm looking for, depending on if I can jump on a line that I kind of like. Anything under minus, the 2.5 or under, I'm probably going to take that.
Yeah, 6'3", 11'6". Cal Poly jumped out really quick yesterday, but then the Bats woke up for the Beavers there. Yeah, I mean, I love Oregon State. I think this is a money line parlay match. I like, I know it's high, but you get somebody at like West Virginia, 160, 175, match them up with them. I really like that.
You could do the 3 out west. You could do Arizona State, USC, Oregon State minus 104. Yeah. If you're looking for a little West Coast parlay to get your evening time going. That's kind of like the 4 o'clock Sunday kickoff slate. I kind of like that. Yeah, little Landon Harrison. He's an absolute stud. Derek Williams has played really well for the Hurricanes. Both those guys deserve mention in the Golden Spikes Award, up there with Rock and Drew Burris and those guys like that. Von Lackey as well. There's a bunch of names. Landon Harrison, again, just absolutely coming out of nowhere. I mean, he was very highly touted, but I would say he was a name that was kind of slept on, and he has just come out and put on a show each and every weekend. So I love that kid. But that's all I have for today. Again, I got to see the over-unders, and I'll post our plays here soon as we get those. But if you don't have anything else, we'll wrap it up here on Sunday.
I'll go real quick here. Just teams I looked maybe straight was Bama. This is just a first lean I put down early this morning at like 7 a.m. I put Bama, Texas, Oregon. Teams to match. I know UCLA is very high, but I've played them the last 2 days. I try to, again, find that like 150, 155, 160 and match them with UCLA. I love UCLA, what they're doing, trying to break the record. I think they win again today. So I'm going to try to find another in that range with UCLA. But UCLA, NC State, I really like how NC State swinging the bat, scoring a lot of runs against Duke. Mississippi State was one, USC, Oregon State, Arizona State was also down in my notebook. And then the last thing for me, totals I want to keep an eye on. Indiana, Maryland. It's Maryland. Always high scoring. Pitching is not good. I want to see the total in that. Arizona State, Utah, we talked about. UNC, Clemson, I want to see the total in that just because of the innings yesterday. And then I have something else. Kansas State. And we touched on that one. So those were the first couple leans I want to do. I want to see some of the great minds that we follow that are very good handicappers. I want to see what they're playing too, and we'll talk and we'll get it out there. But let's cash some tickets. And like I said, great Sunday, Masters. You got the Pirates playing great baseball right now. I'm happy. And that one, keep an eye. Little tidbit there. That Wrigley, that's winds 35-mile-per-hour gusts today. So those
be cold.
First two. The over-unders were 6.5. This one, I think, is 12.5. So it's funny how Wrigley Field, it can really switch. It's kind of like Texas Tech there. So that should be a fun game today. But it's going to be a great Sunday. But let's cash some tickets and let's have a great day.
All right. If you don't have anything else, we'll wrap it up. We'll see you next Saturday. We'll be back to our regularly scheduled program.
And we've talked about this. Let's be honest. We said if we can sometimes – Saturday for sure, but maybe do this Sunday. So let us know if you like the Sunday action.
Yeah, comment below on the stream on Twitter. Let us know your vote if we should do a Sunday edition as well. All right. If that's all we got, we'll see you next weekend.